Hi guys, welcome back to our channel, First Half Podcast. As usual, we are here to talk about football news. We share our opinions on everything that have been going on in football. My name is Dennis, and I'm here with
Patrick.
Welcome, bro.
Charlie, welcome to. How have you been?
I'm okay. I'm okay. So
Yes.
I'm excited. We are going to my team,
Yeah.
Chelsea Football Club.
Yeah.
Chelsea is one of the teams that, when it comes to the transfer news, they are a blockbuster when it comes for pundits, when it comes for content creators, because obviously, no matter what, Chelsea is literally linked to every player, and Chelsea buys a lot of players. So there is no transfer news without Chelsea. So a lot have been happening over the week since the window opened and closed again for the Club World Cup. There are a couple of things that we want to talk about, and we hope you join us as usual. Like and subscribe so that we can bring you more content. Bro,
Blue is the color.
football is the game.
Football is the game. Okay.
Yeah.
But anyway, like you rightly said, Chelsea, when it comes to the transfer window, you're never lost in there. Yes, and I know that looking at the game that Chelsea played last season.
Yeah.
I'm not a Chelsea fan, but I know that you would want to beef up and this time around get something good for the season.
Yeah.
So because of that, there'll be certain decisions that you would have to take as a team.
Naturally, yeah.
Especially in the transfer window. Now, looking at the game that was played last season, looking at the caliber of players that you had, because sometimes, I've had certain discussions with you, I'm like, Chelsea, you guys, what players do you need? Because you have very young, energetic guys.
Yeah.
Sometimes they show up, sometimes they don't.
Yeah.
So now the most important thing for your coach now is to make serious decisions on the players that you need in and players that have to go.
True.
So as a Chelsea fan, with all the games that you watch, including the Club World Cup games that are going on, which kind of players you think that Chelsea would need? Which kind of players you think that Chelsea would have to let go? Key players, not just any player. Which key areas in your team you think that would have to be worked on?
Yeah, I think from the outside fan, it's a bit easier to look at Chelsea and assume that everything is fine. But if I'm being honest, I think Chelsea fans are struggling. We are not happy.
And, don't be happy for a while.
Exactly. Since these new owners came in, there are a lot of decisions that they've taken that the fans, Chelsea fans have been spoiled by our former owner. So there are certain expectations that we are
very
used to.
high expectations.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when these new owners come in and they're talking about long-term projects and all these things, the Chelsea fan don't know anything about long-term projects. It's win and win now.
Today.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So whatever their plan was, whatever their project was, I think in the beginning all fans were skeptical.
Yeah.
But there's only so much noise you can make. So at some point we all decided to support and then build from there. We started the season fantastically to the point where I think every Chelsea fan was beginning to eat their own words and say, maybe these guys actually know
it was a fantastic start.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was.
These people actually know what they're doing.
Yeah.
But as it went on, we came to realize that the cracks were there, which was some of the things that we were calling for, i.e. experience in the team.
Yeah.
Because the young boys will take you so far, but there are certain times that leadership in the team and then experience will carry them over the line.
Yeah.
You could see games where you could see games where you need somebody within the team to just push the team forward and just by their leadership, okay, let's go and press, let's sit back.
But not to cut you, but I thought James was doing that perfectly.
Last season, James played very little games. I mean, because of his injuries, barring the latter of the season, most of the games he was not available.
He was not available. That's true, yeah.
And some of the mistakes that we make are so comical. You can just see that this is just a childish mistake. You get it? And that is what expect from an experienced player. Yes, we know that mistakes come. But some mistakes that led to goals from our goalkeeper, from defenders.
Sanchez, serious keeper.
Please.
Yeah, guy, Sanchez.
Please, don't stir me up. I'm trying to be very calm about Chelsea. So, just to complete answering your question, it was exciting to some point, but now it's become very obvious that if we want to do important things in the league, we want to win stuff.
Yeah.
We need a certain caliber of players to come into the dressing room and help these young players to get over the line. So currently we don't have a spine. We don't have an out-and-out striker that that can give you 20 goals a season. Chelsea has always had that. the Diego Costas, the Drogbas, all these, we've always had
Diego
that.
Costa.
Yes.
Charlie.
This Nicolas Jackson won't cut it.
Oh, he's senior
obviously.
Guy. Nicolas Jackson is senior guy. Dennis Charlie. Nicolas Jackson, I'm sure. Hey,
Chelsea fans, I don't want to do this. Come for him and let him understand what I'm talking about.
But okay, well, you go on. We'll get to Nicolas. Yeah.
In the midfield, I think Caicedo, being the player of the season last year, he's come and shown that he deserves that price tag. He's earned it. Last season, actually, he really, really played every single game, and he was always being able to give more than a 7/10 performance. So that you are good with that. So the midfield, you can say yes. Palmer dropped off a bit, but then again, he's a young player, and for me, we rely too much on Palmer. He plays every single game. That's one of my critics about Maresca.
Yeah.
The fact that the boy is good, he's still a young boy. At least there are certain games that he needs to either come off the bench or be rested.
Why should he be rested?
His
energy levels are there.
He's a creative player. He's a creative player. Creative players are attacked. The way they are kicked and all these things, the free kicks and all that. People are targeting Palmer.
No, I don't agree.
But
you know the more games. My point is that more games you play,
this is a club that have had Eden Hazard. Even Eden Hazard was not playing every single game. We rested him. So Palmer, yes, he had a fantastic season the season before.
Did actually.
He started this one well. The moment you realize that he's falling off, give him some time, just some 2-3 games to rest, and then refresh.
Maybe he didn't have that replacement for Palmer.
He did. Nkunku plays that same position, but I've been playing him at number 9, and he's not been able to show.
But do you know that there were times that you and I spoke about how we're a bit disappointed in
the use of
Nkunku?
Yeah.
But the latter part of the league or the season, Nkunku was getting a lot of playing time.
He wasn't. You see,
and for me, anytime he came on, he didn't show up his best.
Good. But for me, Nkunku has checked out. If I was Nkunku,
mentally,
he's checked out. He wants out of the club, and it's obvious. You get it. For me, yes, you've gotten a gem in Palmer. He's great. But there's nothing wrong with sharing the spot with Nkunku because you know that Nkunku can also add value. Playing Nkunku as a striker, that's never been his position. So obviously, you are trying to put a round peg in a square hole and then judge him to that. So at some point, you can say that the guy just doesn't want to be there. At least, if Palmer is having a bad game, even within the game, sub him and bring Nkunku for that position. He doesn't want to do that.
So, if I listen to your submission, it seems as though you are laying all the blame at the feet of your coach.
No. I said here that the youngsters, there are so many mistakes on the pitch. I'm trying to build the spine. Apart from the midfielder, I can say we are stacked. Attacking, we are not. And defensively, we need experience in there. Because sometimes the decisions that they make at the back, you realize that if there was somebody, when we had Thiago Silva, he could talk and arrange the back line. You have Van Dijk. Van Dijk does that. Leadership in the back is something that you can't do without. It's key. Because once you are out of position and all this, you can't defend. So you need to have somebody who tells that this is the time to press forward, let's stay back. And you need that in there. Nobody in there is having that communication. Now, you have a comical goalkeeper who is making... No, last season alone, Sanchez had 5 mistakes leading to goals. And he was one of the highest goalkeepers.
And last season too, Sanchez gave some critical saves for Chelsea.
Which is his job. Which is his job.
But I mean, as human as you are, you might have some errors in the whole season of 38 games. You make 5 errors.
No. You are playing for Chelsea Football Club. You see, you have to put it in perspective and context. If a keeper in, let's say, Ipswich has, let's say, 5 errors leading to goals, it's understandable because they are not a team. They are a team who are always under attack. Chelsea possesses the ball more, which means that they are not always under attack. So if you have 5 mistakes leading to goals, that means that that's a lot.
So Dennis, hold up. Unfortunately, I don't have the records now. But there were a lot of errors made by Alisson, our keeper, in this last season. No, I'm telling you, there were a lot of errors.
No.
I think you're being too hard on Sanchez. Honestly,
every football,
you're being too hard on Sanchez.
With Sanchez, you see, there's a difference from there's a shot and Alisson was not in the right position. That happens. There's a shot he was expecting it to go for the last ball, and it came on the first ball.
And then he passes the ball wrongly and somebody taps it in.
How many times
it happens?
With Sanchez, anytime he has the ball, your heart is in your mouth because 70% of the time he will make a mistake or give a bad pass. And that, you see, if you're a defender, you can never be confident because you feel like the person behind you is not your last. Any mistake that you do is going to lead to a goal. So that doesn't make the back line solid. So everybody expected that. That's the first thing as a team we should change. We need a stronger and more experienced goalkeeper.
Yeah. So speaking of that, speaking about that, Mike, is it Mannion? Was Chelsea right walking away? Because I mean we're having a very detailed conversation about Sanchez now. And we need to look at that as well.
You see, there are two sides to the coin, but every Chelsea fan will tell you that it was the most ridiculous decision that the directors took.
Yeah.
Why do I say this? You can't only look at it on paper, which is what they did.
Yeah.
They looked at it from paper because they looked at, okay, this is Mike Mannion. He has told AC Milan, I don't want to sign a new contract. I want to go to Chelsea.
Yeah.
And he has just about a year left on his contract. In an ideal transfer situation, this is a done deal whereby when you go and sit down with whoever you're negotiating with, all the leverage is with Chelsea.
Yeah. Once you get to negotiate,
once the player says that I'm leaving, and he's even threatened that if you don't let me go, I'm not signing and I'll walk away for free. So which means your negotiation is done for you as a club. Fair enough. AC Milan came with their asking price is £25 million. Which
is cool for Chelsea.
Not even for Chelsea. For a French first goalkeeper. The captain of AC Milan.
Yeah.
He's been there and done it. One of the most experienced. We're talking about the top 5 keepers in the world.
Most experienced. He's very experienced. Very. Mike is
top 5 keepers in the world. Mike is in there, which means that 25 is not exorbitant. Chelsea came in with 8 million as their first proposal, and they went up to 12.5 and said we are not going more, and if you don't, we are walking away.
Yeah.
But you know that the goalkeeping position is very, very key for you. Sometimes you have to just bite the bullet and try and see how you
think they feel the same way about Sanchez?
They don't, but I'm coming there. These directors have to be careful because they are gradually looking, or they are building a reputation for themselves as they don't know what they are doing.
Yeah.
We had this same situation last window with Osimhen. There was a lot of back and forth, and they kept snowballing him by giving him smaller amounts.
Ridiculous figures.
Exactly. To the point where the transfer window got shut and he never came back again. This is the second experienced player we are going for. And for me, there's nothing wrong paying 18 or 20 million pounds for Mike. Nobody in the world is going to say that it was a bad deal.
No.
But they sat down and they said that looking at all the leverage we have, we are not going to budge. But sometimes it's not about what is on paper. It's about what this person is bringing to the football team. This is a captain of AC Milan. This is somebody who has been there and done it. Even his presence in the dressing room is massive for the young players.
And some of these things we take for granted. The presence of such people in the dressing room,
Players are going to look at him, look at how he trains, they look at how he conducts himself, all these things, and copy from it. And it transcends in your dressing room. And it has such power in there.
Well,
so for me, the directors, they annoy me to the core.
Oh, Charlie.
They annoy me. Because
relax.
No, if you have somebody like, what's his name? Is it Luis Campos or whatever, who is a great sporting director, come in and make side decisions. You know that he's been there, he's done it, he's been at some of the biggest teams in the world.
So he knows what he's about when he sees,
But if you have these clowns who have not achieved anything in football, you've not built a team to achieve glory.
Relax.
No, it's true. They've not built
you are going
team.
too hard on your owners. I think
not the owners. I'm talking about the sporting directors.
Sporting directors, of course. But I think you should. You see, you are looking at things from a fan's perspective,
and that's all that matters. The fans are the one who pay the bills.
Yeah, but then I'm telling you that at the end of the day, some figures will be looked at in the boardroom to take certain decisions.
You see, yesterday I watched Chelsea's game against Flamengo, and Sanchez's mistakes just deepened the wounds of Chelsea fans. Because with no technical eye, every Chelsea fan will tell you that we don't want Sanchez in there. And whether you like it or not, these players actually listen to.
Yeah, now they are really on social media.
So what that means is that
psychologically,
exactly,
it affects them.
So for me, put the guy out of his misery and make sure that either you are now second position, fight for your spot, but we are bringing in an experienced guy. No, we have another guy who is actually really good, Petrovic.
Yeah, Petrovic. Yeah,
he's really, really good. Last season, he was actually very, very fantastic at Strasbourg. But they don't want him there because the guy wants you to guarantee him first team football, and they can't guarantee him that. So for me, to answer, it was a very, very horrific decision to walk away from the manual deal.
So what would you, because we also have issues like, and maybe we can discuss that briefly as well. We can also look at Sancho at Chelsea as well. Yeah. Some of the decisions that were taken. For me, I think Sancho was gradually fitting into the Chelsea team brilliantly. Yeah. There were some games that Sancho was amazing with Neto and the rest all around him. Yeah. Talk us through with the issue with Sancho and Chelsea as well. Is it that you guys didn't see the best in him? Is that about the money that he was expected to be taken? What was the reason?
I think with Sancho's situation, that one I can understand where we stand as a club because Sancho was not fantastic throughout the season. He showed up.
He had off days.
Yes, he showed up in certain games and didn't at most, which is fine. You can understand that for a team that is not really on the top, that can happen.
Yeah.
When the season ended, Chelsea said, we want to keep you. But we have a wage structure. And for you to stay, you have to cut down some of your wages. Sancho is taking over 300,000.
That's a lot of money for such a player.
That's crazy. And the player that is taking that amount should be pulling down trees. You understand? So if you look at a player like Opama, who is taking below 200, Caicedo, who is taking below 200, and your wage structure is very well arranged, I think it was a fair proposal. But he felt he deserves more. He felt he didn't need to cut down because United is still going to pay. He still has a contract, I think 2 years left with United. So he decided that he would rather walk away and take his chances. I wonder which team, what he's putting out is
for
going
300,000.
To pay that money or willing to pay that money.
For that, I think then Chelsea make the good
Exactly.
Good
so for me, it has been clear that United doesn't want you. They want you to move on.
Yeah.
And you had an opportunity to stay in London and build your career from there. You could have decided, okay, I'll drop a bit, show these people what I'm about.
Then I can go back to the negotiation board. Yeah.
You understand? But he thought, hey, as my right, I'm earning it. So it's either you give me that or not, which I think it was very ill advised. I don't know who advises him.
Yeah.
But for me, with that and what he showed within the period that he was with Chelsea, I think that they made the right decision.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah. So, in all this, to put all this in context, do you still feel as though that Maresca is the man for the job for Chelsea? Is he going to take you to the promised land this coming season? Based on some of the signings, which I think we're going to discuss subsequently, do you think that Maresca is going to be able to, do the job?
That depends on what you call the promised land. For me, I've never really had that much confidence in Maresca.
Oh, really?
Why do I say this? You see, you can never be better than the person who's training you. What do I mean by this?
I think I get
everybody. Or between Maresca, Arteta, and all that, everybody's trying to learn Guardiola style. And he's still in the league.
Yeah.
So what that means is that when you face such a coach, everything that you're trying to do with your coach, your team,
ahead of you.
He's ahead of you. So he can do better, or he can read you. And you're competing with him. So that means that you are limiting yourself. I've loved the times of Chelsea whereby we see that, okay, Ferguson is the coach to beat. Let's bring the most maverick coach who can come in with his style and just distract the whole process. We're going to bring Mourinho. He's not here to learn what Ferguson is doing. I came with my own style.
You love Mourinho?
There's no Chelsea fan who doesn't love Mourinho. Mourinho is a god at Chelsea.
Okay.
So for me, this whole bit of the owners and the directors wanting to learn the City, the Guardiola kind of football, And I think it's the fittest.
It's getting annoying.
It is.
It's actually getting annoying because now you don't have the football where you had Lampard and Gerrard shooting from range.
The point.
We don't have that kind of football anymore. It's getting so boring. People are just passing the ball over the place.
The ball is going on the left, backwards, take our time. And it's stifling creativity out of the players.
Yeah, it does actually.
Because all the players want to.
And they get one out sometimes.
They do.
Yeah, they get one out sometimes.
Because somebody holds onto the ball, you don't know when to make runs, whether they will play it or they will go backwards. And so strikers tend to get lazy and all that. So for me, if we want to really win stuff, I don't think Maresca can do it because even his style of play gets so boring. Because it's like you are looking at, okay, we want to be like City, but we are like for lack of better words, the China version of City. So we are doing it, but we are not doing it well.
China goods.
Exactly. So for instance, they are going for the best players and they are doing the style. You are going for youngsters to come. So how are you going to be better? So if City are playing the De Bruyne, Bernardo Silvas and Haalands and whatever, and you are playing Jackson, Palmer, Madueke and all that, you are never going to be able to win the league with these players.
I don't like the way you disrespect Jackson. Top guy. Jackson, top guy.
Like Nunes.
No, he's bigger than Nunes. So, but the thing is that, with the examples you are giving, so now the most important thing is to beef up the team. Okay, so already we've realized that Chelsea is going in for several players, which you are just to close the deals. A lot of rumors, and sometimes some of these rumors will materialize eventually.
Definitely, yeah.
I mean, one of the signings you've already done is the Delap guy that came up.
Delap, yeah.
If you remember very well, I used to talk about this player a lot, and I think he's a good signing.
Yes.
And I think you fit in very well in the Chelsea team.
Okay.
Yeah. But then there are other players that if you should be able to get in, and you started chasing these players for a while. I've seen Osimhen also is back on the radar.
Yeah,
I've seen Osimhen back on the radar. I've seen quite a number of them. I've seen the darling boy Kudus on your radar.
Yeah.
He'll fit in perfectly in Chelsea. I believe so. Okay. Even though I'll be Ghanaian biased, I think that with the kind of gameplay that he has, you do very well at Chelsea. I've seen you guys have gone in. I've seen a bit of players from. There's this guy from Dortmund. I've forgotten his name.
Kittens.
Yeah, Kittens. Yeah, wonderful player.
Yeah,
he can also fit in perfect. So I'm saying that maybe with all these players coming in, if we're able to seal most of these deals, I think Maresca can do something.
You see, with Osimhen,
with Jackson at the front.
No, please. With Osimhen, we've had one of our legends that is what's his name again? Mikel Obi.
He keeps on.
He's very close to the player.
Yeah.
And he's actually, the last time we were trying to sign him was actually very, very poignant in the negotiations.
Yeah.
But it never went over the line. And he's always said that with Victor Osimhen, Chelsea knows exactly where we stopped. So it's just a phone call away. But here is the case that...
oh, really?
Oh, yeah. He said this very clearly. And he's also always been a Chelsea fan.
Yeah.
And he wants to play for the club.
Yeah, he has.
But here's the situation whereby Chelsea thinks that, not even Chelsea, that most clubs think that the amount of money Osimhen is asking for.
And his age.
Not even his age, it's just 26, 27. So that's manageable.
Osimhen's age is
26, 27. So that's manageable.
Problem.
The problem here is that he wants that money, 250 as net.
Yeah.
And in the UK,
he's requesting for about 350k.
Exactly. And that is what most teams seem to be running away from because they feel like it's too much.
It's too much.
But for me, with what the boy gives on the pitch, his numbers show. He's been at Napoli, he's won the league. He went to Galatasaray, he won the league. So if you want somebody who is a proven winner, that's a specimen. And nobody in that specimen is going to come cheap.
Nobody.
As I talk to you, Haaland is for 500 a week.
Yeah.
So if you are ambitious and you want to do this, I always say that these Chelsea directors annoy me because they have to be creative. Why do I say this? You have somebody like Sterling on your books who is taking 300 a week. Sterling still takes 300 a week from Chelsea.
Yeah.
And you are trying to get rid of him this week, this season.
Yeah.
Nkunku is on 200. He's
are you getting rid of Nkunku?
And he's leaving. He wants to leave.
Okay.
We have.
He's taking 200k a week.
Yes. He was not signed by these owners. So
wow,
it's actually I think the
and
last
he was not
signing.
utilized at all.
Exactly, he is there. We have the Chilwell.
Chilwell.
Chilwell's also on 200. Between these three players,
Wow.
yeah, between these three players, easily you saved yourself almost for 700,000.
Yeah.
So if you are an ambitious whatever, okay, if you are getting rid of these wages, can we break the bank and bring in a certain player who will come in and we know that
numbers.
if nothing at all with Osimhen in the team, Champions League is guaranteed every year because he can guarantee you 20 goals aside what Palmer and the rest can give. So at least we can be able to get over the number of Champions League. Then we see how we can go and win certain trophies. So how is that difficult?
So with all these analysis you've made, I want us to look at your current striker, Jackson. Before Jackson came into Chelsea, there were various stats that were looked at, and he came in to play. Is the problem really the style of play of the coach? Or the caliber of players that you have, or it's a mixture? Because I'm asking this question, I want you to take it carefully, because we have seen time and time again Chelsea bringing in after your glory days, Chelsea bringing in certain kind of players, coming to the team and not really able to perform.
Of course,
So with this particular window, we have some good players in Chelsea. So if your coach is able to make the right decisions, I think you have a marvelous team. Because from the Netos to the boy you were talking about that was being used too much, what's his name?
Nkunku.
No, not Nkunku. The guy was replacing Nkunku. Palmer.
Okay.
You know, coupled with all these players, I think once you're able to get the right players in, Chelsea is good.
Or for me, we don't need much.
Yeah, you don't need much.
If you have a prolific striker, you have an experienced defender and a goalkeeper, we should be okay for now.
It should be fantastic.
But to say Jackson is magnificent, I don't know whether it's your Liverpool hat that is talking, or because he's been anything but magnificent. He's not even been good.
He said he's sorry.
He's not. He's not even been good.
Jackson's up at all.
Before Jackson came into the team, I think he came from Valencia.
One of the Spanish teams.
He had
good figures though.
He didn't. He had a good 7 games before the season ended. Where he was able to put some good goals. Before he came to Chelsea, I think most fans didn't know anything about him. And we're actually caught unaware. They said we were linked to a Jackson. And as a football fan,
he looked like
as a football fan, when you hear a player is linked, the first thing you go on YouTube to go and watch excerpts of his game.
And you get those videos.
Of course, you get the positive.
Yeah, you get a positive.
If you say that it's because of the coach's playing style that is not making Jackson whatever. Jackson, for some reason, is always in the right position to get the ball. But he's not a finisher. That is his problem. And with finishing, it's either you have it
or you don't.
Jackson could easily, if he was finishing his dinner, should easily be giving Chelsea 20 goals this season. Because the amount of waste Jackson that guy gives us. What he got.
Last always falls when he kicks the ball.
He only scored about 9 goals or so. Did you watch the Europa Conference the final? That was when, for me, I said, enough is enough. This guy cannot lead us. He can't lead us anymore. The best for Jackson should be he's a second fiddle to a top striker he can learn from. So if you bring in an Osimhen for 2-3 years, and he's understudies him, I'm sure there are things that when they are training.
An Osimhen in Chelsea will be superb, man.
Listen,
superb.
For me, the Nigerians, they have an attitude of positivity, like they're loud and confidence. If you put an Osimhen in that dressing room in those kits and with his energy of everything,
so the competition comes out from everybody.
Exactly. He will push the team. It's not just even what he will do on the field. The dressing room, what he brings in there is massive.
It is massive, actually.
Yes. So for these sporting directors to be running around, I mean, you've offered him, I think the last proposition we gave him was about 190 or so. Add another 60 or 70 and get a striker who's going to...
What kind of symbols are? I don't know.
So the point is that if it's about just adding 60 or 70 so that at least you can get a guaranteed goal scorer, I don't know what those coins. Do you know that with the Manian deal, for instance, they walked away because between them and AC Milan, there was. I mean, okay, let's meet in the middle. Let's add another 4 million or whatever, because you want the player. But Chelsea directors will come and tell you that, oh, we saw an opportunity and we tried to explore it, but if it doesn't work, that's what about an opportunity? You're talking about a world-class goalkeeper. What opportunity is there?
So I believe that it's still early days yet.
I hope they go in again for Mike.
Yeah. I think they will approach Mike again. I'm sure.
But imagine a Chelsea with both Mannion and Osimhen in the dressing room.
But as a
Liverpool
fan, I can't imagine that.
I know. I mean, it's obvious.
I can't imagine.
So that's why I'm saying that. At least I respect you for putting your being real. Don't act as if you care about Chelsea. That one.
But I've never cared about Chelsea. But then when you play good football, I'm always very honest about that. But I don't really care about Chelsea.
You see, same way I don't care about Liverpool.
Let me just put out there. So, but let's talk about a few transfers.
Okay.
And let's see how it's going to go, because I believe that if you're able to bring some of these guys in, we can do a good job as Chelsea Football Club. So before we look at the people you are bringing in, your current squad now, which players can you easily say that, oh, we can get rid of these guys and we are good?
You see, the good thing with Chelsea is that because we bought a lot of players over the years, there's so many players available to be sold. And if I'm trying, I can't remember every name, but if you add the loan army plus the players who are on the bench or whatever, Chelsea easily has over 10 players or more that we can sell and make over 100 million easily. So it's all about ensuring that we sell and sell right.
Yeah.
Now, if you ask me in the first team who I think can go, I believe Jackson is untouchable. It's no more untouchable. At some point they thought he was, but right now they made it clear that if they get a good amount for him, they are prepared to let him go. And we are getting sniffs. Yeah, we're getting sniffs that Unai Emery at Aston Villa is interested, because he's the one who gave Jackson his debut in the Villarreal.
Oh, okay.
So it's like there's a connection there. So he wants him back.
Okay.
So if we could get some 30 million for 40 million for Jackson, what do you mean by? We got him for 35, yeah. Even your Nunes guy, you want money for him. So that is that.
I think we pay 40 million for Jackson.
Oh, you sure? You see, who don't respect it? You know how United want Jackson?
Which Manchester?
Oh yeah, giddy. And then
this stream will let you all Manchester United.
Nani Madueke, I hear the hierarchy have come to accept that he's not developed the way they were expecting.
Madueke.
Yes. So
Madueke.
You just said you don't care about Chelsea. Can I talk about Chelsea?
No, but even if I don't care, the truth should be told. Madueke is a solid guy. Madueke. But which replacement are you going to get for Madueke?
You let us do our thing. It's okay. So let's do our thing in Chelsea.
Carrying on.
So he's also available. Newcastle are sniffing around for him and all that. So those two can go. If you ask me, who else can go? I think we have the guy who plays second fiddle to Reece James. He's been off form, but maybe he'll come good. So that one I'll leave him.
Who's that?
But what's his name? He has a dress. I forgot his name.
Is that a Portugal guy?
No, he's French.
Disasi.
Disasi is going. He played half of the season at Aston Villa, and I think they want to maintain him.
Oh, okay.
So there are players in there that, I mean, give or take, we could have at least 3 or 4 players leaving the first team. I know that even Chaloba is being looked at because it's pure profit for the owners. So if they get good money for him, he'll...
So what happens to João Felix, Raheem Sterling?
João Felix is going, Raheem Sterling is going.
Where are they going?
Raheem Sterling was on loan. I mean, he was told last season that he was not part of the project.
Okay.
So that's when he got a loan to Arsenal. And when he went there, I think he has proven our point. So, I mean, he has proven our point that he's not, he's no more the caliber of the top tier EPL. If you look at the mid teams, if he's prepared to reduce his salary.
Okay.
Or Saudi. I mean, you can hear no Saudi team is sniffing around him. So that is very weird. You know, usually Saudi counts for the carcass of the most of these teams. But if they are not in for you, then it's a problem.
Okay.
And then we have other players. Chilwell is also supposed to go. We have other young guys who have actually not really featured in the first team. Well, so we have a lot of players to sell.
Yeah,
if you actually look at Chelsea,
but for your speaking, you have
busy.
a lot of
they are going to be more busy when it comes to outgoings, even than bringing in players, because there's a lot of players that are back.
There's one player that Chelsea is also chasing that is about Frankfurt. Is it Ekitike?
I mean,
which most players, even Liverpool is on the radar on that. Yeah, that guy's a solid player though.
He's great, but I think the money they are asking for,
ridiculous.
They are asking for at least 80 million, and I don't think I think they're actually 100.
No, they actually there
100 million euros, but when you convert it, and for me to go for him, I'll go for either Victor Osimhen or Gyökeres, one of them, because they guarantee.
Gyökeres has a lot of players also at
teams behind him. I don't know why.
That is when it affects the price, and you see that when it happens that way.
Gyökeres has actually been quite slow. He's flirting a lot with Arsenal.
A lot. So I actually thought it was a done deal with Arsenal.
No, it's not, because Arteta is looking more for Sesko, not Gyökeres. If he wanted Gyökeres by now, it should be done. But it looks like Gyökeres is not his priority. He's more attracted to Sesko. So, I mean, if you go for any of those two, I mean, Chelsea is solid, because you know that these guys can give you 20. If these guys are getting the chances Jackson is getting, come on, you're good. So for me, if you have the lap in there, and he's playing second fiddle to an Osimhen, solid attack.
Yeah, solid.
And Chelsea have always had that. We used to have Drogba and Anelka behind him.
Can you imagine?
I mean, this is what we used to. This is what Chelsea fans are used to. I mean, if you are not talking about
the Asian in the middle,
Lampard next to him, Ballack there,
solid
you have Ashley Cole giving you the wings, and then John Terry is at the back.
So it's good. But then I think that there will be a lot of changes in the Chelsea football team. So this is not a season.
It's underwhelming. I don't know if the transfer window opens again. We hope that these owners and directors don't annoy us with. You are prepared to spend 30-40 million on kids that nobody knows, and Mannion 25 million. You think it's crazy?
I can't imagine a Chelsea fan. Look, you know what Liverpool's been through with our owners.
At least you are where you want to be now. You are where you want to be now. I think since Klopp came in, you've been spending.
Yeah, we are not saying we've not been spending, but we've not been given the amount of money that we wanted really to use on certain kind of players.
No, but I know for what it's worth, teams will always give you a budget of between 100 and 150 and tell you that the rest, if you sell players, you get more. So it's about what players you are prepared to sell and whether you can still compete when you sell them. Liverpool have players to sell. You can easily generate 100 million more on the player sales, which is good. So to me, it's like that. With Chelsea, we have so many players to sell. That gives us money to spend. But you can't even trust these directors to go for the right targets. That's where our problem is.
All right, Charlie. Yeah, it is well. So, Charlie,
guys. So, thank you for joining us. I mean, share your opinions about Chelsea, the signings that we have done so far, the ones we are targeting. Who do you want to lead the line? Are you going for Osimhen? Are you going for Gyökeres or Ekitike? Or you want to stick with Delap and Jackson? Let us know your opinion. See you again. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye-bye.
Liverpool will like Jackson.